Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Lots of submissions into the Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox regarding our first segment and whether or not referees should be held accountable by the media after a game like Saturday night.
Yeah.
There's one submission here. I believe it's Jack in Van City. All overtime goals should be reviewed.
Yeah.
I've lost it, but that's, I think, the gist of it. All right. It is, what is today? Monday. It was a busy weekend. And all of our guests today, including Ian Furness, standing by, are sponsored by Basant Motors. Due to popular demand, Basant Motors has continued on with its anniversary sale. Get huge discounts and great promotions with your next vehicle. Get all the details at BasantMotors.com. Normally on a Tuesday, he's been kind enough at our request to join us on a Monday.
Good guy.
From KJR Sports Radio and Fox 13 Sports down in Seattle, Ian Furness. Ian, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm good. That's great. When I get a good guy compliment from Rick to start my week out, gosh, can you get any better than that? I don't think so.
Good guy.
Is that Cougar good Red guy you're wearing? Hat? Shirt?
I don't know. The hat is Helinski's Hope, which is a mental health thing. Mm-hmm. And then this is just an old – we're not even on 950 anymore. We're on the FM on 93. So I gotta get TV ready. We got Sounders playoff game tonight, but you guys don't get TV ready. You get Ian with the hat on today. So,
we'll take that.
And a third person reference apparently too. So,
you look like an F1 driver right now.
You really
do. I?
Yeah, with the hat.
I'm like two of those guys. Those guys are tiny, aren't they?
They are. They really are. Yeah.
They're little people. Very little people.
And well conditioned as well.
Yeah. Well, then again, none of us either. So okay.
I said, you know what I said? You look like an F1 driver. Go for it. Stop right there.
I'm in. 100% in.
Seahawks 24, Browns 20. Is it okay to take over first place in the NFC West in a game you were far from perfect in?
Yeah. Boy, sports are funny, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I know what happened with the Canucks up on Saturday, and it's interesting how a call here, call there can change everything, or a ball bounces off a guy's helmet, ends up being an interception. Yesterday's Seattle was dominating that game yesterday, and it changed on a fourth down play that there was a pass interference call, and there might have pass interference or hands to the face. There's so many of those calls yesterday, and it was egregious. The call was egregious. It was an awful call. And it kept the drive alive. Cleveland scored, and they're back in the game. And you're thinking to yourself, like, how? Like, why? And there's a couple other calls like that during the game. So it was an ugly game from the officials. It was an ugly game from the Seahawks at times, certainly from Janoris Smith again. But you get those. I mean, sometimes you need to find a way to win. And, the state of Ohio was not kind to Seattle when they went to Cincinnati. They lost one of those games. They had a chance to win it on the final drive. We talked about that a few weeks ago. This time, the other team from Ohio, they have a chance to win on the final drive, and they made the best of it.
You mentioned Janoris Smith. Where's his game at right now?
Still too many mistakes. The turnovers are mounting. He's had way too many turnovers, interceptions yesterday. Another one in the red zone, which is at the near the goal line. I mean, it's decision making is questionable right now. I don't know if he had happy feet yesterday because he was facing such a daunting defensive line and Myles Garrett, but the offensive line did a terrific job. I mean, they kept him clean for all but one play yesterday. So I'm not sure, Donnie, to be honest with you, if Geno is regressing back to the norm of Geno for a decade, or they've played some decent defenses along the way. Decision-making is sometimes a huge part of being a quarterback, and he seemed to be hesitant a couple times. And then he just missed some throws yesterday on a really nice day for football. I mean, he just flat-out missed a couple. But in the end, when they needed it most, they went 57 yards or whatever it was and scored a touchdown. And he made a great decision on the game-winning touchdown. That was a run-pass option, a check at the line by Geno, and he made a great call. So sometimes I guess with those kind of guys, you take the good with the bad. But he's got to get better. There's no doubt he's got to get better.
Ian, watching that game yesterday, all I could think about was Jim Zorn and Steve Largent. I just love those uniforms. I could not turn the TV off. It brought back a lot of memories. But any chance they do more of that the Seahawks with those uniforms retro?
They're going to wear those uniforms on Thursday Night Football against Dallas. That would be the end of November. I believe it's the Thursday after Thanksgiving. They'll play in Dallas, and Dallas, they wear the traditional white. So Seattle will wear those jerseys in that game against the Dallas Cowboys. And yeah, I mean, listen, everyone down. I think we talked about it last week. Like, sometimes, why do you mess with things? And maybe I don't know what Vancouver thinks. I just think of the Canucks, and I think of the blue, the green, the hockey stick, and away you go. And why are we messing with things? Same thing with these uniforms. They changed those back in 2000, 2001. But the royal blue and the silver helmets, it looked awesome yesterday. The Seahawks did everything right with that. Although a lot of people were upset about the guy that raised the 12th man flag. It was Bill Nye the Science Guy. We're all kind of thinking, like, where's, Largent, Zorn, Rufus Porter, Fred Young, just like somebody, Dave Craig. Yeah, I mean, that we're quibbling over raising a flag for 20 seconds. Everything else was awesome. They, just the look was cool. The end zones look cool. And I'm not a big jersey guy always, but I thought yesterday was pretty awesome. And the fact that they won helps, because if they lost, we might not see those things again. So it was good that they won.
All right, your hockey team, they keep blowing multi-goal leads on the road. That's 2 in a row. But is there a goaltending controversy? Like, you've got the backup, Joey Decord, 3 in a row.
Joey Dax. Well, Grubauer's going tonight. But Joey Dax played well, man. He's played really well. He's really aggressive. He's such. If you guys have watched him at all, he plays the puck as well, if not more, and better than almost any goaltender in the league. He really is aggressive in that way. Although it feels like and I was talking to our pregame host Mike Benn about this. It feels like they've kind of toned it down a little bit. He can be truly the cliche of the third defenseman back there. But then on Saturday, he did get aggressive, came out, and they got that goofy glass there in Florida. It took a bounce off the stanchion. They tapped in the winner. But he's played really well. He's really played well. And Grubauer, it's not as if Grubauer hasn't played well. In Grubauer's games, I think most people would agree he's given up one bad goal, but Decor's got the only points for the team so far this season, so he got that third start against Florida. But it's Grubauer tonight. I'm all in, man. I bring that up just because I know it makes some people uncomfortable. We got a goaltending controversy, but between the three of us, I don't think we do. I think it's still Grubauer's number one, but they have a guy that they feel like they can play more often than certainly Martin Jones last year.
Why would they have Bill Nye the Science Guy? When you talk about TV icons in Seattle, why not the cast of Almost Live?
Well, he was part of that. Remember.
Oh, he was too. That's right.
He was part of that. He was a part of the original. That's where he got his start, and on TV at least. And he was part of that. Yeah, we thought the same thing. Like, let's get John Keister and all those guys out there and have some fun, and the high five and white guy skits and all those goofy things we used. We joke about it all the time. If people remember that show, if we did that now with the condition our city is in with our city council and all the nonsense we've got going on here, it would be probably the greatest show on television, even if you didn't live here. But like I said, I'm not as there were a lot of people sideways about the raising of the flag. But then but here's the thing. This is where we're old, though. I saw some of the players. I think Devin Witherspoon, Quandre Diggs, a couple guys, they were excited about it, so they must have grown up watching him. He was like their first foray into science somewhere along the way. So there were some players that liked it. I think the older fans who were into the uniforms were wanting somebody else. But, hey, they're a first-place football team. Do what you want when you're in first place. And how about those Niners, huh?
Yeah. Oh,
3 in a row.
Any theory there? Is Brock Purdy coming down to earth? They've lost 3 straight, 5-3.
Yeah, they've got problems on the corner. The cornerbacks are an issue. They're just not good guys. They're not good enough on the outside. They're good guys, I'm sure, but they're not good enough on the outside. Teams are starting to figure out the Kyle Shanahan run scheme a little bit and what they're doing there. Even with the fullback blocking, Juszczyk's having some issues. They're missing Deebo Samuel. He hurts a lot, and I think there might be some aggression back for a Brock Purdy, who was I hate the term system quarterback because every quarterback plays in a system, but Purdy was able to manage that Shanahan offense really well and effectively. But now, teams adjust. There's film, there's tape. They say, here's what we're doing. And then the other thing, listen, in this league, and I see it every week, you can find yourself in a rut really fast, and a couple things go wrong here or there, and then you play the wrong team. Cincinnati is starting to trend. Let's not forget, this is a team that goes to the AFC Championship pretty much every year, the Bengals, the last few years with Joe Burrow, and went to the Super Bowl. They're a good football team, and they're getting healthy, and they're finding themselves. But, I think the 49ers, there's a little seed of doubt right now, and I think probably it starts with the guy taking snaps from center. And if that happens, That's a bad place to be, and I think they're still a good football team, but it feels right now we're seeing more and more like it's Philadelphia, then there's a drop-off in the NFC, and it's San Francisco, Seattle, Dallas are kind of all in that next tier, and then another drop-off after that.
Pat Cashman's take on Bob Ross on Almost Live. You couldn't do it now, Ian?
No.
But
no, you could.
Folks,
There's a
YouTube,
lot of things.
Check it out. It's gold.
Hey, there's a lot of things that the three of us talked about or did back 20 years ago and watched, and we would be all, out on the unemployment line right now together if that was the case. So, Rick, don't laugh so hard. I think there's people sitting there at Czech saying, "Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Let's." Yeah. I don't like this. I don't like this knucklehead from Seattle. Yeah. I don't like these two guys. Yeah, we're gonna have to go find another gig at some point.
Yeah, Ian, finding another gig. Been there, done that a few times.
We're gonna set a record soon.
Hey, just take me along for the ride, boys. I'm with you all the way.
Absolutely. Ian, thanks for this. Good memories.
All right, boys.
Take care.
Take care. See ya.